So first thing I wanted to ask you, I'm a huge horror fan. There isn't all that much horror on your resume. So what was it about the genre elements of Dr. Sleep that really spoke to you and made this project a must?
Well, it's not really about the genre for me. I don't. It's not part of my decision making, really. You know, I don't think, I should do a horror film because I haven't done one. I just was fascinated by the character and the idea of it being a follow-on story from The Shining. Sort of piqued my interest, and I think I would have been skeptical about it had it been somebody unrelated just writing a sequel version to The Shining. I would have been more skeptical about. But once I found out that Stephen King had written a novel in 2014 called Dr. Sleep that was a follow-on novel from The Shining, I thought, that's interesting. I was interested to read the script. And then I met Mike Flanagan, who I just really had an unusually deep meeting with for the first time. I met directors all my life. And I went to meet him in his edit suite of Haunting of Hill House. That he was physically editing that TV show, and we sat down, and just in 2 hours we just talked a lot about our lives and a little bit about the film and the character, but mainly about I was just very open with him, and I came away feeling, well, there's somebody that I could trust, and if I wanted to explore the themes of this movie and what Stephen was writing about with, sobriety and recovery, things that have got strong part in my own life, then I would want to do it with somebody like this. So it was that really, more than the genre,
I was curious a little of what it was like working with Mike, particularly as a director with an editorial background. As an actor's director, can you tell the difference in that area of his work?
It's very telling. He thinks like an editor. I mean, he thinks in shots in a way that most directors, well, every director's different. That's the truth. There is no normal or usual way about it. Everybody's very unique. But he thinks like an editor. So he works very quickly, frustratingly quickly sometimes, in terms of we'll do one take and he'll go, okay, we've got it, we'll move on. And I'll say, well, can we do another take? And he goes, no, I only need it for this bit, and we got that bit. So thinks in a different way, I think for the actors, you want to perfect every take from beginning to end, and you want to have a few goes at it. And but it was more. You could tell you were being directed by somebody who came at it from editing, for sure.
Very, very important in some of these sequences that I'm not going to spoil yet.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask you about balancing Kubrick's interpretation of the story with Stephen King's. I know that was on Mike's shoulders a lot, but did you have that in mind at all when you were approaching bringing Dan back?
I worried about it before we started shooting, because I thought that's where we could. That is the hurdle that Mike had to get over, was the fact that there are the people who love the novel and there are people who love Kubrick's movie, and they're not necessarily in each other. They don't cross over a lot, because Kubrick made a lot of changes to the story that Stephen King didn't like, and I think a lot of fans of the novel felt like weren't happy with that. So I worried that, it's going to be seen to be the follow-on movie from The Shining. How are we going to please everybody, But he managed to do it beautifully, Mike, with our fourth act. He did something very, very clever at the end of our movie, which sort of gives the fans of Stephen King's novel who were aggrieved by Kubrick's movie, he gives them what they were missing.
Couldn't agree more.
It's clever, isn't it?
I'm going to switch gears and go to spoilers, so you got to wait for that until you see Dr. Sleep, then come back to this interview.